don't sit right with me.
Like,
So
y'all
I get a trip out of that.
nothing.
For real, like
Fussing
literally.
for you're fussing in a language
Hey.
that's not even your own.
Check this out. It's like meeting another black person, right? And they say they just do away with soul food. They don't eat fried chicken. You know, the things that we usually eat, they don't do barbecues.
Right.
And we would look
They
at
don't
them,
wear a weave.
but they not from our parts. You know what I'm saying? So the understanding for us would be like, we see why you not hip to this type of lifestyle. It's because where you come from and what you went through and how you originated in that location. What's good, y'all? It's the Demouchet REACT, and we're back with another video. Who we got today, C?
Today we're back with another American reaction.
Yes.
Super excited about this video, guys. If you're new to us
And
we're
we're
new to you, make sure you scroll down, hit that subscribe button, and turn on the post notification bell
because we're on the road to 100K.
And we cannot get there without you guys, all right? Join the family. Without further ado, let's get into the video.
In this video, I'll tell you some of the things you need to know about understanding the West Indian Hindu experience. What's up, guys? Sean here from Hindu Lifestyle, where I do videos about understanding the Hindu experience. Many of you who have been with me from the start know my background. Born and raised right here in Canada, my parents from the island of Trinidad and Tobago, my ancestry is Indian, and yet somehow through all of this migration from country to country to country, the Hindu identity persisted. One of the most important aspects of the West Indian Hindu experience is how Hindus adapted to the changing practices to fit their new environment and hold on to traditions they felt as vital. As Gayatri Bahadur notes in her book Coolie Woman, Caribbean Hindus were able to craft a religious identity distinct from what their ancestors in the Indian subcontinent practiced, especially since the practice of Hinduism in rural India was often governed by cultural norms that significantly shaped their interpretation of Hinduism. I've met many Hindus from around the world. However, there are still many Indians who are astounded to find out that Indians, and by extension Hinduism, persevered in the Caribbean islands. So here's what you need to know about understanding the West Indian Hindu experience. Number one, most of us lost our native language because of the imposition of English as the official language of learning in the British colonies.
Wow.
In order to go to school, you needed to speak English. Number two, despite losing this ability to speak Hindi or any of the native languages of India, music was a uniting force in the West Indian Hindu community. Until today, many West Indian parents will ensure that their son or daughter learn to sing bhajans, play musical instruments, or even learn to dance.
Yeah, and that's where the remembrance come in that. Because if they put it in the schools that you can't learn, well, not you can't learn, but we're going to just replace it with English learning. You know, going back home and you hear the music on the records, you hear the drums, you hear everything that's cultured to your, I guess, a Hindu. You know what I'm saying? You kind of still get that fulfillment out of it, not forgetting it. You know what I'm saying? So to say.
And I think, although we kind of face the same oppression, you know, with, you know, the Africans of the diaspora, you know, the ones who were enslaved. Although we face the same oppression, our identity was stripped. But their identity, they were able to, you know, keep some of it. And I guess that's why anytime, like here in the States, we come across Indians from Indian heritage, it's almost similar across the board. You know? I appreciate that, you know, and I think it's a good thing that they didn't completely lose who they were.
I mean, that's good for anybody.
Yeah,
you know
they lost their native languages.
I mean, that's a piece of something they lost, but like how you made it in the comparisons, you know, it went to the most simplest format of us not being able to use our own drums.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? To, you know, still practice the ways of that lifestyle, that culture. You know what I'm saying? So they still had that when they went back home. Right.
So they were able to, in a way, create a whole new culture.
In a way, yeah.
So, but for us, we literally had to start all over because it was,
it was stripped away.
It was stripped away.
Completely.
You was punished, you know, and we'll get into, you know, some of the things that they had to go through as being indentured servants. But
yeah, But hey,
Kind of different.
they still got
For
their
three,
thing on though.
many of us have English names, which is a holdover of the effect of colonialism and the large Christian influence. Some people have commented on my YouTube channels that me being named Sean actually makes me less of a Hindu. And it's comments like these that actually get me a little bit
Audacity.
irritated because these people don't get to know my experience as a Hindu growing up.
So
Many Hindus
that's a low. I call
That's
that low
very low.
vibration. They vibrating from a low energy source place, and they trying to pull him down because they don't want to understand why his name is Sean. You know what I'm saying? The culture
that's
of it.
ignorant people.
Facts.
No, you know, because what I always find funny about our diaspora wars, and of course I'm gonna keep bringing it back to us guys because we're the Demouchets, we're reacting. So on our channel we try to reference things that we can relate to. But one of the things that I find funny about the diaspora wars is that we don't participate in that, but there'll be someone from a country in Africa, there'll be someone in a country in a state in America, the United States, somewhere, the Caribbeans, somewhere, right? And they're all arguing and trying to state their points across, but what language are they using to state their points across?
English.
English.
Yeah.
Ain't that's another part of colonialism?
Yeah, it's
really?
like I get a trip out of people who refuse to look at the source, the main source of how everything popped off. Because it's just like, why ignore this and then try to force your opinions on people, and you're ignoring the facts. You know what I'm saying? As just that don't sit right with me. So I get a trip out of that. For real, like
You're fussing in a language
Hey,
that's not even your own.
check this out. It's like meeting another black person, right? And they say they just do away with soul food. They don't eat fried chicken. The things that we usually eat, they don't do barbecues.
Right.
And we would look
They
at
don't
them,
wear weave.
but they not from our parts. You know what I'm saying? So the understanding for us would be like, we see why you not hip to this type of lifestyle. It's because where you come from and what you went through and how you originated in that location.
Right.
So when you come to our land or come to our locations and stuff, and we put you onto it, then you can get understanding to it.
Right.
But people refuse to look at the source and see why people are the way they are.
People refuse to have an open mind.
Yeah, that is facts.
That is exactly what that is. They refuse to have an open mind. Like, what else was his parents supposed to name him? If they lost their native tongue,
Facts, yeah.
of course they could, look up something. Oh, this means Sean or river, born by the river, or whatever.
But the schools, though, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
The schools wouldn't be like.
We had to adapt,
Facts.
regardless if where our people came from. We had to adapt. Stop being so closed-minded.
Yeah.
also make it a point to attend Mandir on a regular basis. Typically, that's on a Sunday, where they join in regular satsang. The colonial islands were ruled by Christians, thus making Sunday the official day off. It was that day that Indians would be given a reprieve from the harsh conditions of the plantation fields, and they used that day to congregate in regular satsang. West Indian Hindus often celebrate Christmas as a social gathering because of how pervasive these celebrations were. And you can see my video that I posted about this a few weeks ago. Many Hindus also identify as Indian and West Indian. For example, if someone asks me, "Hey Sean, are you Indian?" I'll often tell them that I'm actually West Indian. My parents are from the island of Trinidad and Tobago, but my great-grandfather came from India.
Straight up.
It's a dual type of identity, a type of hyphenated existence.
But
The
ain't
caste
that like the
system
beauty
also-
of it though? When you can say all these things, when people ask about you and where
Right.
you come from, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I just think that's like it gives you so much more substance of a person.
It
like.
does, and that's like with us with African American, and why, although yes, I would love in a perfect world of equality and
Facts, yeah, I feel that.
of where racism doesn't exist. I would love to be able to just say, "Oh, I'm American," but no, I'm not. I'm not gonna ever leave out my heritage.
Right.
I'm
right.
African American,
That
proudly.
is, yeah.
changed as well. Many West Indians don't identify with a particular caste. The only lingering notion of caste is the belief that to be a Hindu Pandit, you need to be born a Brahmin. and that's a subject for another day. A lot of the intricate pujas and ways of worship were lost simply because there weren't enough people who were well trained to perform these rituals. Nevertheless, various pujas endured because of the memories of our ancestors and the strength and fortitude of our ancestors. Colonialism was a major factor in shaping the West Indian Hindu identity, and missionaries struggled to convert the Hindus that came from India because they were often met with resistance. In one of the diaries of the Christian missionaries in British Guyana, Reverend Brockhurst writes in 1888, "And sometimes honestly enough tell me in a straightforward manner that they shall not embrace Christianity. Walk in the religion and caste of your forefathers" is their favorite proverb. So you can see that yes, despite the heavy Christian missionary presence in the West Indies, we maintained the tradition in whatever way we could. Looking ahead, there will continue to be challenges in figuring out the Hindu identity as generations continue to be born outside countries such as India, Trinidad, Guyana, and Suriname. Will our descendants identify as the Canadian-born Trinidadian Hindu of Indian ancestry, or will they simply identify as a Canadian Hindu or an American Hindu? Only time will tell.
Right.
Thank you for watching once again. Please hit like, share this video with
Yes, man. Make sure you guys like his channel out, bro.
That is very, very
Get all that good stuff in.
interesting.
Yeah.
It's interesting because, we'll have some of our people in the diaspora who will look at some of the native African tradition, religions, what do you call it? Spirituality, African spirituality, and they'll say, "Oh, that is bad. You just don't understand it.
You just don't understand
Right.
it." I stand on that too.
Right.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm a straightforward person. If I don't not like something, but if I have a bad feeling about something or it just doesn't fit me, I'm gonna say, "Look, I'm Christian."
Yeah.
That's what it is. It doesn't mean that what my beliefs are higher than yours. It's just, again, I was not born in that land. My people were not born. Well, my people were taken from that land. So I was born in America, with American traditions.
But at the same time, that goes to a whole, that really knocks the ball into a whole new ballpark. Because at that point, the conversation can look like this. We was put in a location, we were stripped of everything we once knew, and then we had to birth a generation into a whole new teaching. And now we're looking at what we have in our hand and say, this is how we're supposed to live. That is wrong. And I feel like, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's kind of like ignorant because you don't really give that a chance because based off what you was taught in this new way of living.
Right.
But you look back where you come from, you know what I'm saying? There's things that's popping up that you probably look at as not, approved.
Right.
Let's say approved. Yeah.
You're taught that it's bad.
That is bad.
But you just don't know it.
That's it.
What I was gonna say? I don't know a lot about the Hindu.
Yeah, I want
Indian
to mention that at the very beginning.
So I'm looking forward to learning a little bit more about West Indian culture as well.
Yeah.
So we hope you guys enjoyed this video with us. Like this video, subscribe, turn on the post notification bell. We have enabled our super thanks if you like to support the channel that way, as well as our reaction request form in our description box below. We'll see you soon. Peace.